Hey, yo, what is the word? What goes on? Peeps, Jay Porks here. We are back with a brand new episode of Dyze In Your House. What is the word? What goes on? First and foremost, the views and opinions expressed on my podcast are that of my own and do not reflect that of my employer. They never have. I don't know why they would, but anyway, nevertheless, we are here. We're going to be on YouTube. Shout outs to everybody. I gotta say, before we get going, and this is with all seriousness, like the podcast from what's like last week now, 5-6 days ago, has 280 views. And there are some people that may have clicked through this video and said, what is that? Well, that's up from the usual 14. So I would thank everybody for clicking on the video, maybe sharing it with their friends, maybe hitting like so that it could be in their, algorithm and then get tossed into a friend's algorithm, because that's what the internet does. I appreciate everybody. That was a lot to me. We're still recording and running the Cash App along the bottom because we cannot monetize on YouTube because I do not have, shut up. We do not have, I do not have enough subscribers on the YouTube page, but we will get there. We're going to talk about a couple things today. Basically, Musk, Diddy, and tacos. But before we do that, and again, thank you again. When I hear tacos, I think of the band Taco Cat. And fun fact, Taco Cat, spelled backwards, is Taco Cat. And if you look up their song, I Hate the Weekend, it's a good song. And it's, that early Seattle Riot Girl type deal. I don't know if they're from Seattle. I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying. So Taco Cat, look them up. So news came out. And again, I don't like to do the news of the week, news of the day. Here's the news of the day. Because, we're in a fascist dictatorship that's going to eventually lock us all in camps. We need to come to grips with that reality. And once we do, then we could move forward on how we're going to, not be that. But anyhow, Elon Musk is leaving the government. Okay, so two things could be that. Okay. It could be true. Yay, it's true. Why did it happen? It happened because he got made fun of on Twitch when he was playing his video games, because his whole life is being exposed. Is that why it's done? Did he actually say, you know what, this is too much for me? I'm losing too much money. I'm hurting my brand, whatever I have left of it. Did he say that? Did he do that? That's possible. I don't think that's the case, but that's possible. There's also, he did not leave, and he just metaphorically left, and he's not going to hang around them anymore because, they can't have some drug addict hanging around Air Force One, especially when, you got it gifted by a foreign nation. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, but all the stories about Elon Musk and his weird shaped penis or whatever the case may be, he had some surgery on it or something apparently. Apparently he does a lot of drugs, so he had some surgery on his penis. I don't know. I didn't click on any of the links. I just saw the posts on Threads. That's all a distraction. All that other nonsense is distractory of what is going on here. And that is that if Elon Musk did legitimately leave and has deleted all those numbers and is out of the group chat, if he's out of the Signal message chat, then he officially has all of the investigations that were going on into companies and trades and stuff he does. All of that is done. And also, he has gotten all the government contracts. He has secured all government contracts that he's needed. And those are either already in effect or are poison pills in bills that will go into effect eventually. So there's that. Either way, it's not like, okay, Musk is gone. We get to reverse all that stuff that Doge did, whatever. We don't get to do that. That's not happening. if you have a family member who collects Social Security or any type of money from the government and they get it like on the 1st, you should hit them up and hit up your loved ones and make sure and check, hey, you good? You got it? Did you get paid? Like I hit up my mom. I hit up my mom yesterday because yesterday was Friday and the 1st falls on Sunday. So technically, people get paid on the 30th on Friday when that happens. So I hit her up. I'm like, you have the money? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, why? Do you need any money? I'm like, no, I got paid. I'm just saying, like, just checking. I don't want to tell her that, she's at risk like that because she's, that's not fair. She's not a political junkie, I don't want to fill her mind with that, but it could happen. It could happen. And that's going to suck when it does. Musk. This guy came in. Or it could be, there's a third option. He could have accomplished the mission, which was, I'm going to dismantle a bunch of shit, and it's going to be so hard to bring all this shit back. All of the people that are fired here, all of the people that have been laid off here, all of the government efficiency stuff we've done, he's done. We're not going to be able to roll all that back. That's impossible. So what we have to do is figure out a way forward, right? If there's elections and such. So we're going to hope that that's a thing. But this also might be a distraction because the Diddy trial is, I don't know if it's winding down. I've just read what's shown up in my algorithm, right? Like the couple of transcripts the couple of things of transcripts. And, you knew this guy was a sick fuck, but, that's just some wild stuff. And as much of like, there's memes and funny stuff about it, like if you take something out of context and in one thing, if you just think about like the baby oil thing, right? If you don't think about the pain being inflicted on people, like that baby oil thing is funny. You know what I'm saying? It's a funny fucking thing. Always be glistening. That's funny. But those are distractions from the actual pain that was being caused by not only Diddy, but people like Diddy, like Epstein, like Trump, like. And if you think for a second that he will not be pardoned, you are nuts. He's already pardoned Larry Hoover and NBA Youngboy. First of all, NBA Youngboy was already getting out of jail. So the pardon did nothing. Well, it did do something. It showed, hey, look at me. I'm pardoning black people. Also, Larry Hoover, like, fucking founder of a gang, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also not getting out because those are state charges and he still has 200 years of those to do. So like, when people say, look at the people Trump has pardoned, he pardons black people, he cares about black people, he hasn't released one Black Panther from prison. Not one Black Panther who's in prison had, damn it, not one Black Panther has been released. You know who's been released? Gang members and rappers. What does that tell you? Pandering. Pandering because he thinks people are stupid. And as I was just arguing with as I was just stating to somebody on Threads, because I don't debate, I was saying, a poll came out, right? Pete Buttigieg, Democratic primary, Pete Buttigieg is leading it. He's got like 38%. Copy. If you ask me, Jason, who do you think of the Democrats that can run for president in the election, who do you think is the most qualified and would do the best job? Pete Buttigieg is up there. He's in that conversation. Like, he might be the guy. He might be like the leader. I don't know. I didn't map it out in my mind. Wanna know why I didn't? Because Pete Buttigieg can't win a general election. I'm not hypothesizing. I'm not saying, I don't think this could happen because of this, and that. No. It can happen. At least if we have an election in 2028. He can't win. He can't win a general. Because the American electorate, majority of it, is fucking stupid. And that's just the truth. They're not smart. They voted for a Nazi. And, even though I believe that votes were messed with in swing states, the margin of error was there enough for them to do that. It's like when the refs cost you a basketball game. Well, it's worse than that because this would be like the refs fixing a basketball game. But in sports, if the refs cost you a game and you lose on a penalty or something and you lose because of a foul or something, it's like you shouldn't have had it in the position where it could have been manipulated. Like, for instance, if the votes were overwhelming where they should have been, let's vote for somebody who's, not a sexual predator, not to mention one of the most qualified people to ever run for president since, maybe the last woman to run for president. But, we're going to make up all these things why we don't connect with her and this and that. They come off as elitist. Okay, do they come off as rapists? Because the other guys, GOP, they come off as rapists because they're rapists and they hang out with rapists. So I don't get it. They're too elitist. The Democrats don't have any messaging. I'm going to vote for the Nazi. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't tell me that, listen, if you tell me, you know what I'm saying? Some people just didn't feel connected to either candidate and they chose to either vote third party or sit out. I'm going to tell you, cool. I hear what you're saying. It went in my ear, it went into my brain, and I processed it, right? We can agree that that's a dumb fucking thing to do. That is a dumb decision circa 2016 to now. That's a stupid thing. My straw was in the video. That's ridiculous. If you actually think that is a valid argument in 2025, where we're at right now, with all this bullshit. Elon Musk dismantled the government. He's never worked in the government. He's not American. I thought they were the party of America first. Why'd they let a South African immigrant dismantle the government? I don't get it. This is not a case, same thing with Obama. This is not a case where there was a Democratic president that got to enact some wild and crazy agenda and Republicans came in and were like, no, we don't like this wild and crazy agenda. No, Biden's shit got held up. Most of Biden's shit got held up. Most of Obama's shit got held up besides, Affordable Care Act. But they dug into that shit, They dug into that shit like it was Diddy on Meek Mill's ass. You see, even I gotta stop. I need to stop. Focus. But it's distractables. And I don't think that's an accident either. You don't think all the stuff leaking that went off, that would be something you make a meme about? You don't think all that stuff's been leaked by their team as a thing to distract? Bullcrap. I really hope. And again, this is, I don't even, well, listen, I hope that I have too much anxiety to be off of work. I'm sorry, so I got the shades a little open, because not people can't see what I'm doing, but I want to see, I want the natural light to come in, so I don't have to turn on the light. And I see a car passing. Every time I see a car passing, what is that? What is that car? It's a block. It's a house. I'm not used to it. It's my own place. Anyway, I really hope the Diddy trial leads to justice for the women and people in general that were hurt by all of this. That's number one. That's priority one. And I don't care, like, oh, let's get them paid, cut them checks. I don't care about that. I want them to feel good about the result. I want, if Diddy goes to jail, them to be like, I'm happy with this. I want that to happen. But if some evidence can sprinkle out of here that ties him to Pac and that death, that in turn ties him to Biggie, and then we've solved the greatest murder mystery of all time. In short, Diddy paid somebody to kill Pac is the alleged story. Pays them half the amount of money because they didn't kill Suge Knight as well. They don't like that, so they go kill Biggie. Allegedly. That's the overarching thesis around that. So if we can get some evidence on that, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. But like, not above justice for Cassie and the rest of the people that have been hurt, because it's just crazy, man, to treat people like that. And then and then you think about all the injustices going on in our country. In our country. ICE agents snatching up random people from schools, separating families, all for the shock value of being on the news, so people like me can see it and be outraged. And then Steve Bannon can laugh on a podcast about it. Stuff like that. And again, I said we're going to talk about tacos, because that shout outs to that reporter who asked the question. Wall Street, they call it taco tariffs because Trump always chickens out. Like, I work in retail, so there's a lot of acronyms. So I could appreciate a good acronym, especially as somebody who hosts podcasts and stuff. And, shout outs to her. I love that. I love that energy. And the response when he realized he was being made fun of was very like what somebody with dementia would respond. It was very like, it took him a long, hot second to realize what was happening. And once he realized what was happening, he got very like, oh my God. Like he usually does, which is why I don't think dementia's new to him. I think this guy's been like, that's what I'm saying. I ain't reading no book that Jake Tapper writes until he writes the one on Trump's fucking cognitive decline. I'm not running for president. Also, Mason Rudolph. If you know anything, if you watch sports at all, or if you have a fantasy team, you don't have Mason Rudolph on that team. I promise you that. Mason Rudolph is the quarterback for the Steelers until Aaron Rodgers gets there, and he showed up at a Trump rally last night, and they got him on stage. From what I saw, I saw a clip. It said Mason Rudolph is on stage at Trump rally, and I was thinking, what's he rallying for? You know what I mean? What's the rally? This is the second term. This is it. This is how the Constitution works. There is none after this. You're not trying to get a bill passed. You're just going up there and riffing. I'm sure those people aren't coming there for free, and I'm sure you're not letting independent vendors set up merch. You guys are selling the merch out of China. Anyhow, that's what a loser. Mason Rudolph sucks. So like, if that's who you get, you're an ass. You suck. You know what I mean? But the tariffs, right? Show you what a loser this guy is. So the tariffs, all these companies raise prices in anticipation of the tariffs. Every company you know, companies you love, companies you hate, companies you're indifferent about, they all raise prices in anticipation of the tariffs. And then the court, I think it's the Supreme Court, blocked the tariffs from going into effect. An appeals court was like, no, they're not blocked. But also, like, again, it's a pump and dump with the American economy. So, like, do you think those companies are taking their prices down? No, that's not how it fucking works. Even if the tariffs are reversed, they're not bringing the prices down. The fuck out of here. So, when I think of taco, I think of, is this AMC stock during fucking COVID? You can't pump and dump the U.S. economy. That's fucking crazy. And it just keeps every day some other shit happens. And it's going to be June. We're going into Pride. Ooh, I'm so glad I remembered this so I can hit this really fast. Again, I'll probably do an entire episode on Pride. But this part I want to hit before I get up on out of here. And, you know, if you're still watching, thank you. And if you've shared this with your friends, please keep doing that. And the Cash App is at the bottom here. Please, please. I got to get lunch at work. I work in an expensive area in Manhattan, and lunch is more than $5. So, like, if you can send $1, $2, I would love that. I can't monetize on YouTube. Once I can, I will, you know, I'll dance and do what I can to make a little money. But anyway, until that time, and you can hit Patreon. There's exclusive content there where I share, you know, other thoughts, and you can get personalized artwork, and you can get influence on the podcast and all that stuff. Wanted to make sure I got that in there before I get up on out of here. But also, Pride, June, it's coming. Under the Desk News, if you follow them on all, whatever social media that you use, Under the Desk News is on there. And if you follow them, they just did something on, let's check out, go to their Instagram. It was like, let's check out Target's Pride collection because they did away with DEI. And everything is so, like, fucking hokey. And, you know, companies are going to do that because they don't need to, like, instead of saying Pride on a shirt, it said authentic, like, with the rainbow. Like, because you don't want to put Pride on a shirt? Why? Like, again, Under the Desk News. Under the Desk News. Follow them on social media platforms. If you want the daily dose of news, that I'm not going to do because I have too much anxiety. And I'm not good at newscasting. I'm barely good at this. Stop doing. Are we gonna sit here and have a convo about straight pride again? Straight pride. Straight pride. When's our parade? When's the straight pride parade? Honey, I was down at the corner store and I saw a man wearing a rainbow shirt. When's our day? When's our day? Jesus fuck, do you know how stupid you people sound? And I'm a straight white man. Let me tell you a story. Pride is about being proud of who you are. Tons of straight people march in Pride. If I'm off that day, I might hit it up. I didn't look at the schedule yet. Point is, if you have pride in who you are, you're proud of who you are, whether that's a member of the LGBTQ community or not. Like, if you're a straight person, you can go march in Pride and be proud and, you know, be hand in hand with people. It's supporting oppressed and marginalized groups that don't deserve it. They're not doing things that hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Again, we should be oppressing and marginalizing, like, Nazis and school shooters, not gay and trans people. And that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so annoying. When straight pride? Every other fucking day. When straight pride? Alexa, stop. excuse me, I was listening to Lithium on Sirius XM, and Pearl Jam came on, and I hate Pearl Jam like a lot. Like it really bothers me to hear their songs. So I decided to stop it. But yeah, this is like a cousin of the When's White History Month discussion. Every month, you dumbass. So, like, get ready for that. And I know I got off Twitter. You know, it was Twitter when I got off it, when the sale went through. But I was already, like, on my way out. I know that there are people, right, that even though they know that Twitter is a bad place, are still there, right? You know, whatever, they got to promote whatever they're doing. There's people they follow on there that aren't anywhere else. I'm not wagging my finger at anybody. But I am saying that if you're on Twitter, you will see a bunch of straight pride bullcrap coming soon. And that's fucking stupid. And people are fucking stupid. And that's why when you release a poll that has Pete Buttigieg at the top, even though he might be fucking super intellectual and will probably have this fucking country have flying cars by the end of his 2 terms, he would not win a general election where Target, one of the biggest retailers in the country, is not leaning into pride in June. Authentic. How fucking stupid are you? Really? So that's why, like, when companies like that are doing things like that, and that's accepted, like, I know, the Target CEO took a pay cut. Yeah, they made him take a pay cut. Cool. They lost revenue. Cool. They need to lose more. They need to close stores. I don't want people to lose. I'm sorry, but I'm, again, views of my podcast, that of my own, do not represent that of my employer. I'm glad I don't work for a company that's scaling back any of that. So that's good. But like, don't give your money to hateful people. This is a recurring theme we're gonna do. These are things we can do. Things we can do as citizens. I always make suggestions. Here's what we can do as citizens. We can not give money to people that think woke and liberal are slurs, or lib. I got another screenshot from a dating app the other day because I saw on Hinge, this girl said, the prompt was, you should not match with me if, and her answer was, if you're a flaming lib. If was in the prompt. So you don't need to say if in your answer. That would be making the sentence, you shouldn't match with me if you're a flaming lib. But again, if you're using the term lib as a slur, lib short for liberal, as a slur, you're an idiot. And you're uneducated, and you probably think it's if anyway. You moron. Anyway. So I always take screenshots because I report them as hate speech, and in case I get contacted, like through email by support, I want to have the proof before they change that in their profile. That's what I do. That's what we can do as citizens. Report people as hate speech. People that are doing hate speech, report them because they're doing hate speech. I'm not doing hate speech, so, I don't have to worry about that. People that aren't doing hate speech don't have to worry about that. So, there's that. So, hey Jay, what was your podcast about this week? Gotcha. It was about Elon Musk. I don't really think he left. I don't really think his influence has left government. But if it has, he got everything he wanted anyway, and he's fucked us enough anyway. Second point was, Diddy's done terrible things, and I would like And I desire justice for all the women who are all the women and other people that were put through all that unnecessary pain and suffering just because somebody has power and they feel like they, control people and they run life. Like, lives were ruined, and that's, there needs to be justice for that. However, Trump will pardon him, and he will walk. Because who do you think, where do you think those parties were held when they were in New York? Late 90s, early 2000s. Where do you think they were? A certain tower? Maybe Trump Tower? It's possible. Trump had a lot of real estate before he was barred from doing real estate in New York. And that's another thing. Like, imagine somebody's a president, but they can't, sell a house in New York because they're barred, because they're a fucking felon, and they were found guilty of defrauding the state. But, Kamala Harris she came off elitist and didn't connect with people. That's what I'm told. Dems messaging. So I'm gonna let the Nazi win. Fuck you with that. Go kick rocks. And I also touched on Pride is coming up. Happy Pride, and we are going to see an influx of when is straight pride bullcrap happening, and that's just stupidity. And I am a straight white male who is saying that. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. And don't give your money to Nazis. If there is a business, if there is an entity, if there is somebody that, sells things on the street and they like Trump, they like Nazis, and they explain this, and they think that that's okay, they don't need your money. That's it. They're not getting my money. If somebody thinks woke is a slur, you're not getting my money. If you think you calling me liberal or lib is a slur, is supposed to be offensive, like helping people is supposed to be offensive, having your eyes open to atrocities happening around our country and racial injustice, I'm supposed to be upset? That's supposed to be a slur? I don't know. I think it's bigging me up. Just my thought on the matter. Wild stuff. So, that's what we spoke about. And again, last week, we got up to 280 something views before I hit record on this. It's going to be, that was really crazy. Thank you so much. It's going to be very hard to do that again. But I got faith that people who tuned into that are going to tune in again. And I got faith that it's possible that the people that tuned into that will tune in again, like what they're hearing and seeing. Well, I don't really care if you like what you're seeing. It doesn't matter. And they will tell a friend. They will hit like. They might even hit subscribe on the YouTube page. That's what I would do too. So, please, hit like, hit subscribe. Oh wait, what are the kids? Smash that subscribe button. Oh my God. So do that and tell a friend, because we need more random liberal people showing up in people's news feeds, not, Nazis, not people mansplaining Nazism as being okay, because being a Nazi is not okay. And if you support Trump, you're a Nazi. And if you're okay with Nazis, maybe you say you're not a Nazi, then why are you okay with Nazis? That's a character flaw I can't get past. Sorry. Just me. Not my cup of tea. I can't get past the character flaw of you think that whites are a superior race. Can't get past that. Sorry. Sorry if that makes me woke. But I don't think woke is a bad thing. Anyway, I'm out of here. Tell your friends, please. Hit the Cash App. Come on, please. Or subscribe. I can't monetize on YouTube. I can't even try to not ask you for money. If I don't get up to 500 subscribers. I have 333. I have a stupid amount of concert videos on this fucking YouTube page. So there's no reason people shouldn't be subscribing anyway, just for fun. So please subscribe. Hit me up. Hit me up on Threads at Dyze In Your House. Hit me up on Blue Sky, Jason Dyze. Hit me up on Instagram, Dyze In Your House. I kept trying to put the Instagram up here, and it was up there, and then I hit record, and it wasn't up here. So I don't know what's going on. I got this down here. I can't get that up there. Why can't I have a bunch of stuff? Okay, anyway, I'm out of here. J-Porks, Dyze In Your House, exclusively wherever you thought you were hiding from me on social media, because I found you, I infiltrated your timeline, and I said, hey, I'm here to give you some facts. All right, till next week, check you guys later. Fight oppression. Late.